Hello everyone, I'm doing option 2, which is a research paper presentation based on my dissertation for this TCL final assignment. My POP intervention involves the implementation of mobile learning to support student-centered instruction, or SCI, among the adjunct faculty in my institution. For the purpose of this project, I will share how mobile technology can be an enabler for creative processes to help adjuncts shift from their preference for lecture-based teaching to SCI. There are 7 sections to my presentation as shown here. I will begin by giving the context of my educational institution and how the POP is manifested in my needs assessment. Key points include the adjunct faculty population and the nature of adjuncts' work condition in the Singapore Institute of Management Global Education. In the description for POP, I will present data from my needs assessment on the prevalence of lecture mode teaching in my institution. This slide gives reasons for the inadequacy of lecture mode teaching. Synthesis of literature is used to support the proposal to shift from lecture mode teaching to student-centered instruction. Both internal and external barriers to SCI implementation are identified. From here, I bring the attention to internal barriers as the underlying factors that I hope to resolve in my POP. Because adjuncts are anxious about poor student feedback and have difficulty contextualizing SCI strategies in their own subjects, I use Hennessy and Amabille's definition of creativity to argue that these internal barriers can be addressed by harnessing creative thinking. Taking the view of DiResta and Ken Robinson on the characteristics of creative people, I will share in the next few slides how mobile technology can be leveraged to realize the conditions for creativity to flourish. This slide explains why a mobile-based social software aligns well with the work nature of adjuncts. People do not automatically become creative just because they interact in the mobile-based social software. Therefore, I will design the mobile learning experience according to a research-informed framework. This next few slides introduce Taylor et al.'s task model approach to mobile learning design. This model is an adaptation of Ankerstrom's activity theory that considers the interrelating factors of a system that shape human activity. The task model presents the idea that learners move across 2 spaces when engaging in mobile learning: the technological space and the semiotic or mental space. The individual, the subject, is both a learner as well as a technology user who navigates through the in-between spaces. The individual may choose a technology, which is the tool dimension, appropriate for learning or accessing information. The object. However, this technology also changes the individual's perception and performance in the learning or virtual environment. The lower part of the triangle represents 3 influencing factors: control, context, and communication, which are critical for eliciting pedagogical value in a mobile learning environment. The dual characteristics of each dimension of the task model is further elaborated in this slide. The task model shares similarities with Turco's description of technological augmentation in daily lives and its evocative potential. It is in this kind of liminal space that creative expressions are likely to occur. The technology tool that I am using is the Workplace by Facebook social software to facilitate community-based learning among the adjuncts. To ensure that the conditions for creativity to flourish is present in Workplace, the design and facilitation of the activities will adhere to the 3 influencing factors of the task model explained in previous slides. In this section, I describe the activities in the Workplace virtual community. Adjuncts go through 8 weeks of community-based learning in the Workplace social group. Themed conversations on the different SCI strategies will be facilitated. I will also share how the discovery activities in the community will follow Brennan et al.'s categorization to foster creative thinking. Details of the activities are presented here. The next few slides illustrate the different types of interactions made possible by the workplace social software. The screenshots here are taken from the adjunct's participation in the workplace social group. These interactions shift the learning process from individualistic knowledge acquisition to the development of quality social relations and diverse network, which have been shown to foster social innovation. In what ways are the workplace participation creative? In this section, I share how mobile technology lowers the threshold of participation by moving away from lengthy commitment associated with the usual structured professional development courses. Because I'm positioning this initiative as a project to help students take responsibility for their own learning instead of a PD course, this becomes a shared problem leading to goal-directed behaviors. The intuitive and familiar interface of the software is embedded with sociability features. Examples are one-click like reactions, real-time notification that gives the perception of continued social presence, collaboration, and wide-ranging modes of communication. I will also make reference to Brocato and Schmidt's wisdom of crowds and Jenkins' participatory culture to illustrate how the elements of creativity is supported by the workplace social group. Whenever someone posts a question that they are struggling with, as shown in the previous screenshot, several ideas were offered by another. This allows the adjunct to learn from peers, which would not have been possible without the mobile platform. The next two slides delineate my plan to study the effects of workplace software on the creativity development of adjuncts. Evidences of participatory culture will be gathered through the analysis of social interactions. I will also conduct a focus group to understand how the adjuncts make use of the mobile learning features and in what ways their thinking about SCI has evolved. In the final segment, limitations of the workplace software will be discussed. I will share some recommendations on ways to circumvent these limitations. I discuss the potential limitations of the workplace software in fostering creative thinking based on Turco's assertion that time in cyberspace allows people to craft their preferred identities. Therefore, the relative anonymity may result in people using the space for acting out. There is also the risk of treating this social interaction as an end and false perception of being creative. Some recommendations will be provided to ensure that the engagement with technology will be reflective and intentional. I will cite Sean's work to suggest that for technology to remain as an evocative tool to harness creativity, self-reflection is key. Losch's and Brookman's recommendation in terms of the design of the activities, as well as Turco's non-judgmental, facilitative approach are important considerations to promote reflective practice. Follow-up activities to transfer the skills learned in the virtual community to the physical classroom will also be presented. Thank you for viewing my presentation. Your feedback is much appreciated.